Okay, so Beef, I think we need to touch on a very controversial subject.
Oh.
I don't know if you have been following the news lately, but I'm a news addict.
Of course I'm following the news. What are you talking about?
Well, Samantha Bee, she said an interesting remark, a 4-letter word that was against Ivanka Trump. Now, this
Yes.
is mainly in regards to her ideas against immigration, right? And
Yeah.
she wanted to press upon an idea to get her to go out there and change things, that she has the power, but she used that language in hopes that it would send the message across.
Yeah, well, she said feckless as well, and then the C word. So it made her mad and confused at the same time.
Yeah, it was a little different, but
Right.
now, okay, so of course she apologized for it. And people like Jon Stewart are coming to her defense.
Of course.
And Kathy Griffin. First, Jon Stewart said, oh, it doesn't matter about the language. She can say whatever she wants. It doesn't affect them.
Right.
I just want to say the language does matter because it kind of brought up an idea from the movie Mean Girls. And I hate to quote the Mean Girls
Okay.
movie, but Tina Fey said it best, that you got to stop. Women need to stop calling each other sluts and whores because that just gives men the idea that it's okay to call them sluts and whores. We don't need to call each other names to get across a message. If anything, I stopped listening to the message once she used that language.
Really? So you were kind of offended and hurt by it?
Completely offended because you don't need to call another person a name in order to get a message across. We can all talk level-headedly and just, I mean, what's the point? That
Yeah.
just it makes the message completely soiled and it makes me want to just turn it off.
I can see what you're saying on that, and I'm sure Samantha Bee, in hindsight, would think that she could have took a more intelligent approach as opposed to just being so vulgar and going straight for the jugular.
But she had days to think about this because
course.
they bleeped it, they recorded it,
Oh, yeah.
they bleeped it, they went through the editing process twice, and they still aired it.
course
At
they
any
did.
point, someone could have stopped it from getting on the
But
air.
it was a bleep C word, too. But, I mean, I understand your point still. Women are women's, biggest enemies, They're vicious towards each other. But at the same time, you couldn't imagine Trevor Noah dropping the C-bomb while describing, Ivanka Trump. So somebody, I guess,
Yes,
had to say
exactly. And
or didn't have to say it.
and that's the thing. I mean, that's the frustrating part is Jon Stewart saying it's okay that she used that terminology. No, it's not okay.
Right.
Because women, we don't want to be known as that.
Yeah.
That's not okay. That's the worst word you could ever call a
So
woman.
politics aside, it's basically a step back for women and women's rights. Right?
I feel like
As a
I'm
woman,
not
you were more
necessarily-
offended at her. She
not
said the C
necessarily
word.
women's rights, but I'm
Right.
saying I think it's unnecessary language, and they should do something. They should make a stand against it.
You'll make a stand, but not like an extra punishment for Samantha Bee. Do you want her to get fired or suspended over it?
Suspension, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
So you're not a Samantha Bee fan anymore?
I turn her off now because
Really?
I mean, I can understand. I like to listen to everyone's points of views.
Right.
I'm moderate. But that went too far.
Damn.
Like at that point, I was like, I don't even want to listen to the rest of the joke because that's not a joke.
Right.
That is not funny when you're calling someone a name,
Because she was bringing down another woman. and making it
and
okay
an
for men to
entire
do it.
gender,
Entire gender.
in a sense.
Right. So politics aside, it was basically gender shaming from one woman to another. And you think that women together should stand together.
We have
and
to.
rise above that. So
Yeah.
if John Oliver said it, would you be as upset and offended?
I would, regardless. The word should not be used. But I'm more offended that it's a woman because you're right. Right now, women are standing together in so many different movements, and then that just,
Right.
throws it all away.
Yeah. Well, I think Samantha Bee, I think she recognized that she made a mistake. I'm still a Samantha Bee fan as far as her intelligence. I think she's very smart and as far as female comedians on television are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one that is in that kind of genre for television shows. So I wouldn't want her to lose her spot because of it.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's a step backwards for women as well. So it's a double-edged sword.
But then you look at people like, you look at Stephen Colbert. He doesn't need to use that language. Does he ever use bad language?
I'm sure he's been bleeped. Yeah, he gets bleeped. He gets bleeped. He doesn't say the C word, but again, guys can't necessarily call a woman a C word unless
Yeah.
you're Andrew Dice Clay. Heyo, you remember him? Hickory dickory dock. So that's it. I'll fill you in on that.
Oh,
later.
man.
But I get it. I totally understand your point of view, and hopefully, Samantha Bee learned her lesson, and she could possibly win you back.
If she has Tina Fey on the show and she says, Tina, I watched the Mean Girls comment and I feel so bad.